Livonia, Michigan, here are the pros and the cons of living in Livonia, Michigan. These are the things that I would want to know if I was considering a move here, especially from outside Metro Detroit. Number one Livonia pro, the location. A quick look at a map is going to show you that you can get just about anywhere in Metro Detroit in pretty short order because you've got the 275 freeway on the western edge going north and south here. You've got the 96 freeway running east and west through the southern part of Livonia, and you've got the 696 freeway running east and west again up north in Farmington Hills. Now, you're right in the middle of the two largest downtowns in southeast Michigan, about 20 miles from downtown Detroit directly to the east, and then directly to the west about 25 miles from downtown Ann Arbor. And then closer in, Livonia has three downtowns you can visit here, and here within a 10-minute drive. You've got Northville's downtown, Plymouth's downtown, and Farmington's downtown. Now just to the northwest, kitty corner is Novi, which doesn't have a downtown, but it does have 12 Oaks Mall here and Fountain Walk here. And a lot of people love living in Livonia that work downtown because the commute is 15 to 30 minutes shorter than other cities in the area like Northville, South Lyon, and Novi. Pro number two, Livonia Public Schools. Livonia Public Schools serves over 14,000 students across 13 elementaries, 3 middle schools, and 3 high schools, and that's not even including the Career Tech Center and the Early Childhood Development Center. But Mike, and I get this question a lot, how are the schools? Let's find out. Several schools have been named Reward Schools by the Michigan Department of Education, which is an award given to the top 5% of schools in the state based on academic performance. Niche.com has Livonia ranked a B+ overall with an A in college prep. Greatschools.org give Livonia High Schools a 7 out of 10 for Franklin, 8 out of 10 for Churchill, and 9 out of 10 for Stevenson. US News reports a student-to-teacher ratio of 16:1, which I think is pretty darn good, and School Digger gives Livonia a 4 out of 5 stars, and finally, Public School Review gives Livonia 4.2 out of 5 stars. Pro number 3 for Livonia, Michigan. Livonia has a rec center, and most cities do not, and this is an especially good one. The Kirksey Rec Center has a whole ton of indoor amenities, including a leisure pool, a lap pool, a gym, rock wall, party and meeting rooms, childcare for an additional charge, 2-hour max stay, tree fort, locker rooms. Outdoor, you've got a skate park, inline skating rink, volleyball courts, soccer field, and water spray ground, which is also known as a splash pad. The lap or the competition pool has 25 lanes, and there's a 6,500 square foot leisure pool. The rock wall is 42 feet tall with 13 different climbing routes, and there's even a mini climbing wall for kids under 10. There's a ton of classes for both kids and adults. Pro number 4. The Livonia Spree. And all year round, Livonia puts on a ton of great events throughout the year, and it's not just centered around the rec center. Starting with the one that I was going to every year is Livonia Spree, which is a week-long birthday party for the city of Livonia with a carnival, food, live music, and of course the fireworks at the end of the spree every year is one of the best in Metro Detroit. Detroit fireworks are obviously number one, but this is pretty close ranking, I think. And every week there's something going on at the Greenmead Historical Park. There are summer camps for kids, activities at the senior center, and more. At the rec center, there's free live music every weekend during the summer that's kid-friendly. They also have Shakespeare in the park. The Wicked Bazaar is celebrating all things Halloween with a ton of decorations and crafts for sale. Pro number 5. Livonia real estate prices. I get asked this question a lot. What's a good area where I don't have to spend an absolute fortune, but it's safe and has good schools on the west side of Detroit? Livonia checks each and every one of those boxes. Right now, Livonia's average sales price is $288,000. So putting 20% down on the mortgage with taxes and insurance, it brings you to roughly a $1,750 per month payment. Now I'm using 6% as the interest rate. When rates come down next year, that number will come down as well. The second reason Livonia real estate's a pro is even though values went up about 1% year over year from 2022 to 2023, over the last 10 years, it's averaged an 8% per year appreciation, better than most of the cities in the area, making it a great investment. Last thing I'll point out is here at $288,000, the average sales price is about $10,000 more than the state of Michigan average, so not super high like a Novi or a Northville, and well below the $485,000 national average. The last pro I'm going to cover is Livonia safety and crime rates. Livonia has been routinely named one of the safest cities in the state every year, multiple times, and here are a couple of awards it's won as well from outside reviewers. It's among the top 25 safest cities in the US by reviews.com, in the top 100 best cities in which to raise kids in the country by the National Council for Home Safety and Security, and among the top 50 in the nation among best small cities for retirement by Smart Assets. And per Realtor.com, Livonia is one of the hottest real estate markets in the nation for millennial buyers and is the 10th happiest mid-sized city in the country. Okay, so we just talked about a whole lot of Livonia pros. Now, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe and hit the like button so more people can find this that are thinking about moving to Livonia as well. Thank you. I appreciate it. So let's let's move on to the cons. Now here's con number one. Moving to Livonia, you're gonna have to be ready to battle a ton of traffic. There are 95,000 people that live in Livonia, making it the 9th most populated city in the entire state. When there are fairs and festivals like the Livonia Spree, there are a ton of people that come into Livonia from all over Metro Detroit. And even more, there are a lot of people that work in Livonia that don't live in Livonia, and then that just keeps on adding to the traffic and congestion. Livonia is also a pass-through city for a number of people that work downtown but live in a Plymouth, a Northville, or a Novi. In other words, get ready for a lot of traffic. Con number two for Livonia is the complete lack of a downtown. The city did try along 5 Mile Road there, and so did several others that have no cohesive downtown like a Redford, a Novi, or a Wixom. Wixom fared better than most, but Livonia was just not able to bring a downtown life to bear. So if you're looking for that downtown feel to live in, Livonia is not your city, and frankly neither is Novi. I'd look more towards Farmington, Plymouth, or Northville. If you're okay being a little bit further out, a South Line or a Brighton might be a good option. Livonia did come out in 2021 with the Livonia 21 Vision Master Plan targeting 3 areas near the Civic Center off of 5 Mile Road here, the Livonia Mall that is collecting dust off 7 Mile Road here, and along the Plymouth corridor here to turn into green space and try for a downtown feel with walkable shopping, bike paths, and housing. And I love you, Livonia, but after living in the area for 40 years, I'm just not holding my breath that you're gonna get it done. Not to be offensive, I love the city, but again, if you're looking for that downtown, look somewhere else. Con number 3 for Livonia is the neglect of the city. One of the top complaints city residents is the neglect of some of the roads, but most especially the buildings that are vacant, like the Livonia Mall, that has really become an eyesore. Con number 4 with Livonia, and this is just my opinion, restaurants and nightlife are just not a thing in Livonia. It's filled with a ton of chain restaurants, but personally I love to eat locally and support local businesses, and makes it really tough to do that when it's chain after chain after chain. And nightlife, you're right there in the same boat, Livonia. There are a couple good bars in Livonia. My favorite is One Under because it's a great place to grab food right after playing golf at Idlewild. Coach's Corner, whose owner actually used to own the Tasty Freeze in Novi all those years ago, and has done a great job with this place at the second of 3 golf courses in Livonia, and the Winter Garden. But for better options, you're better off looking at Plymouth, Northville, or Farmington, or even downtown Detroit. Instead of a 5th con, I'm going to tack this one on right here too, is big box stores. There are a ton of them in Livonia, and instead of the smaller locally owned stores, and they too add to the traffic. Neither one of these things are deal breakers for me, but it doesn't make it any easier to love you, Livonia. Con number 5, the malls. One is literally vacant, the Livonia Mall, and the other mall, Laurel Park, has been teetering on the edge of bankruptcy for years, and it doesn't help that a lot of the stores have recently closed and left. So there are like 7 total stores in the Laurel Park Mall. No, I'm exaggerating, but only by a little. I mean, what it does have is a really good movie theater, the Phoenix, that a lot of people tend to forget about, with AMC 20 right there prevalent on Haggerty Road and Imagine Theater in Novi. But the Phoenix has something the other two does not, is heated reclining seats, and I love that extra little bit of love with the heated seats. But there's also a good mall about 15 miles away. 12 Oaks has over 180 stores, and I would definitely go there for shopping over Laurel Park, except the movie theater. So there are pros and cons for Livonia, Michigan. Let me know in the comments below anything that I missed. Don't forget to subscribe, and if we can help you move into or out of Metro Detroit, I would be honored to get that call. Thank you again, and see you on the next video.